Today's program, we are joined by two women from the NAACP, and I'm talking about Beverly Cade and Mrs. Watts, who's also on City Council, but we're not going to talk about that, right? Yeah, we're going to keep it about Black History Month, which I think we're in. Am I right about that?
Yes.
We are.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and so I originally reached out to the NAACP Instagram page to get a hold of you, to get you on the show. But I originally know you from my 8th grade year. Oh, I know I shouldn't say that, but give away age. But when I was in 8th grade, you were in the education system.
I was. Resource.
Yeah. So we like to get to know all of our guests before we get into what they do. Born and raised in Yuma?
Born and raised in Yuma. My family came out here. My grandparents and great-grandparents came to the Yuma area in the late 20s.
In the late 20s?
In the late 20s. They were following the cottons.
Okay.
So back then, anywhere there was a gin, that's where black people migrated to. And so a gin was in Somerton area. And so my dad was actually born in 1930 in Somerton, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Somerton, Arizona. So
Somerton, Arizona.
The best little city in Arizona.
Is that where you're from? No, you're from Sacramento, but you live
I'm from
there.
Sacramento. My wife
your
is from Somerton,
yeah, there we go.
and they've adopted me. So
part of the NAACP. And once Beverly said, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to hit the ground running and I'm going to run and this thing's going to be big. So what was it? Was it like a better organized? Is it like
better organized? I think we work well together because I had my skills and then she had her skills and put them together. We pulled in a lot from the community and a lot of vendors and people that didn't
Sponsored, like
participate.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it was just...
And Candy Camarena, we have great sponsors.
And that's part of it, right? You have to go out and reach out to the community, say you want to be a part of this great event. It has a history. How long has it been happening here in Yuma?
Well, it's been happening a long time. I don't really know.
Okay.
But it's been happening a long time before I started getting involved with it.
And we've got the city to help us
the
with
city really
with
helps
the
us a
park.
lot.
So that was another...
Plus, the city helps us a lot. They give us the park free now, and they give us tables and canopies, and they give us access to the John Morris building so we can keep all of our cakes and stuff in there.
For our listeners who may not be familiar with Juneteenth, can you again explain what the significance of that date is, of the celebration?
Juneteenth happened in 1865 when they Lincoln wrote the proclamation and said that we're all free. And so that's what we celebrate, June 19th.
So the end of slavery.
The end of slavery.
Well, that was actually Juneteenth is when Texas...
Exactly.
When Texas finally found out.
Okay.
That was
She
like
knows her
2 years
history.
later.
Oh, so Texas finally found out.
The slaves were still...
That's like, hey, guys.
They didn't have X or, in Instagram back then, so they couldn't put something out right away.
No social media, so they didn't get the memo quite yet.
Right.
Yeah, and so, so we're going to take a quick break right now. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the role and maybe some of the resources that are provided from the NAACP, all right?
Okay.
All right, we're going to do that after a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
All right, looks like Anthony has the cameras working again.
How long is the break?
A couple minutes?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about our resources, meaning that who?
Well, like what?
K-pop fans, if you're feeling like you need some love this week, join me for the fan tribute show on K-pop for Border. Artists like BTS, 17, EXO, and Twice will love on you big time with tribute songs.
And then maybe a little more about the event on
just
Saturday.
For you.
How people can
K-pop for Border airs on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on KOFA Radio. Stream the show on KAWC's app or website, or follow K-pop for Border Facebook or Instagram.
Donations come in many forms: a sustaining monthly contribution, a one-time gift, even that extra vehicle you no longer need. Learn more about the advantages of donating a vehicle. You'll help power public radio. Visit kawc.org/cars for more information and to start your donation today. And thanks.
You are tuned to 94.7 FM KOFA Border Radio. I'm Cecilia Holland-Braithwaite from the KAWC Newsroom. It's going to be a very warm day in Yuma with an afternoon high of about 93 degrees. Winds are out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight with a low of 60 degrees. Tax credits for solar panels are still available, but the catch is you can't own them. You can only lease them. This top NPR news story can be found online at kawc.org/NPR-news.
If you're tired of listening to long commercials before finally hearing music, look no further. We've got you covered. Whether you're searching on your radio, trying to find an app to play some tunes, or need background music playing on your computer while finishing up some work, KOFA Border Radio is your non-commercial place for music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here speaking with Beverly Cade and Karen Watts, both members of the NAACP, and one is the president of it. And so you've been obviously a member a lot longer. You said 10 years.
Yeah.
And then, Karen, you said 4, correct?
Yeah, I believe
about four. And so did Beverly ask you to join, or is that something you did as a role of like the city council, or just an interest of yours?
No, I had just lost my election with running for mayor, and I wanted to do something for the community, and I wanted something that had to do with civil rights, voting registration, things like that for the community. Thelma Lundy, if you know Thelma.
Absolutely. I think she was a counselor or something, right?
counselor at COFA.
Yeah,
retired.
yeah.
Now she works at Arizona.
She's awesome. I love her.
AZ at work, but she's everywhere.
Yeah.
Lots of. She's a leader in the community, so she got me to join. And so I had given her my, I paid dues, but then it was about a year before I started going to the meetings. And then in the kitchen, met Beverly, and we just, worked well together and took off from there. And I asked her to help me when I ran for city council, and I've been helping NAACP, and it's been a good partnership.
And just for context, I just want to, you said you ran for mayor, but you didn't win, but you were also, previously, you were on council.
Correct.
So you ran at that. So you did, you spent time on council,
5
which
years,
is 5 years, public servant.
Correct.
And stuff. So that was in your blood, that's in you.
Yes.
And you said, I need another outlet to do this.
Right.
Miss Lundy is like, all right, I got you, girl. This is what you got to do.
She got me on the Rotary, too.
She got you on the Rotary, too?
Now, which Rotary Club? Because there's a few in Yuma.
It's the
Yuma County.
Crossing.
Yuma Crossing. Yuma Crossing Rotary.
Although I can't really do a whole lot with that. It's just too much.
Yeah. So you mentioned paying dues. I'm a member of the Elks. And I just been paying dues. I'm like, when I retire, I'll go over there and do stuff. So I've been paying dues for
Johnny's got some time on him.
like 10 years now. And it's like, they're just, they get my money, so they should be happy. But so when you got in and when you first became a member, after paying dues, you said you started getting involved. What did you get involved with? You also mentioned voting, like registering and getting people. So go ahead.
Right. That's one of the key things that we do is just have those opportunities when we have events that we have voting registration available and teaching the community. I got involved helping with the fundraiser in the kitchen because I'm like, okay, I can do tacos. I can do I could do those things. So that's where we met. And then now I'm on the executive committee, but as a member at large. So I use my connections, and with her leadership, we've really...
So that kind of surprises me because when you guys came in here, I figured you guys known each other forever. The way you were interacting. No, seriously. I was like, they go way, way back, You guys even talking about sharing food, getting the fish and the fish fry. You're sharing a plate of food and everything.
If it's good food, you want to share it.
Yeah, absolutely. But so I guess that's kind of surprised. So you definitely did hit it off.
It's funny you have Gene Dalbey on, but how I think we cemented our friendship is I needed someone to ride with me to San Luis on the mayor ride. My son wasn't the bike ride, and my son wasn't in town, so
this was the one when your son went, because I met you originally when your son was in town, and I went on the mayor's bike ride. I had an electric bike. Me and Russ Clark actually went on there. He's like, hey, you want to take my bike? It's electric. Let's do it. I want to go to Mexico. And so I did it, but that's where I originally met you. So this was a different year then.
Right. And then I called her like the day before, and I think I woke her up and I said, do you want to ride your bike to...
ride.
Oh, you ride?
I used to, when she called, I rode all the time, at least 3 times a week. And it was like 10 miles a time. My friend, Little Joe Robinson, and, we used to ride back then. And so when she called, I was like, heck yeah, I'm ready to go.
And I like to say I ride, but... That was like 20 years ago.
But I was riding wait a minute. I was riding a real bike, and she was on the...
You had electric one, too?
I had a pedal assisted.
A pedal assisted. Okay.
That's what we're calling it.
That's all good.
Okay, that's what I had. It was a pedal assisted.
Right.
So same thing. Yeah, you have to pedal.
And you could...
You can turn
it off.
The mayor's bike ride is no joke, and we could talk more about that, but it's a long, because you go from Yuma all the way to San Luis, Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
And you stop in like Somerton and San Luis.
Yeah,
and
you
have stops, but it's still... If you have a real bike.
And you had a real bike.
I had a real bike, and I didn't realize she had that pedal assist. And it was so hilarious. But now, guess what?
Yeah.
When we rode on which one? The field?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Field.
I borrowed her bike, and I was pedal assisting too. And it was a good thing because some dogs got after us.
Oh, not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have a story about that.
Yeah, we got chased to the Tour of the Fields.
The Tour of the Fields by dogs.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
So, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about in the next segment. Gene's over here waiting. We're going to talk about the Tour de Fields. But so originally it was the mayor's bike ride. That's the one.
Right.
You're like, hey, Beverly, come with me.
Yes.
I need somebody.
Yes.
She gets on a real bike. You get your pedal assist over there. And
hey, some people don't even go the whole course. Some people, I won't name names, but some of the mayors even, they'll make appearances at certain stops along the way.
Yeah.
And riders too, not just the mayors who do that, but some people don't go the whole course.
I have to say, though, though, since we're talking about it, it was so great going and crossing the border. They treated us so well. I just remember just sitting down and eating food and them bringing us beer and stuff like that. I'm like, I love Mexico. I love this place. This is great. But then you said after that was the Tour de Fields. You said, let's do this.
Oh, I think that was another year.
Then another year. Yeah. And then you guys started becoming friends. You're getting closer. Right?
We go to yoga and everything together. We go eat a lot.
She helped me with campaigning, going door to doors, and then I helped with organizing some of the events for NAACP. And we got sponsors because I knew some people that were vendors, and we just kind of put resources together.
Resources together, joined forces. And so one of the things I want to talk about, what are some of the resources maybe that the NAACP provides for the community? Is it mostly event-based, or is there like voter, like teaching people, stuff like that? What is some of the roles in the mission?
So now we have voter registration at all of our events.
All of the events. Very important. Very important
to do that. We've only had one real fundraiser besides Juneteenth, and that was this year with the fish fry. But we do community events where we basically give back to the community. And last year was the first year we did the youth Juneteenth Day at the MLK building. And we were expecting like 50 kids or whatever. So we had food for 50 kids. Well, when they all started coming in, we had to go get more hot dogs because there was over 100 kids. And it was the first time we ever had that event at the MLK. It was Youth Day.
That's great. So I want to ask, because we are in Black History Month, and I know we're only an hour show, but what would you like our listeners and viewers to know about Black history in Yuma?
Well, there's a lot of Black history in Yuma. My mother went to Carver School when it was segregated. And so if you look at Carver School history, you're going to Google it, and it's going to say Carver School's been here for over 70 years. If you look at O.C. Johnson, it's going to tell you it was built in 1954 or whatever it is. If you look at any other white schools, they will say what year. But why is it that Carver doesn't have a year? And that's kind of sad. And I had to call my mom, and my mom could tell you all the teachers that were there. She could tell you that the principal that was there when she was there, and that had to be, we figured out to where she was born in 1939, and she came here when she was in the 3rd grade, and she went to Carver School. So she was probably, 9 years old then? And so we were trying to figure out, when Carver School was built and stuff. But that's some of the Black history that I really try to get back to Carver area, because that's the North End, and they're the ones that need the most help. And so we collaborate with Carver School and Mr. Buckley. And last year we donated a snow cone machine. And they were so happy that NAACP, we used some of our scholarship money and we gave them a snow cone machine because they always had to rent it.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's one of the partnerships that you do with the community over there, and obviously, like you said, it hits home. So you're back in the area that you said that the school.
I didn't grow up.
No, not you. No. I'm talking about. I'm saying the area you said Carver. I did not know that it was part of that. It was a segregated school. I had no idea.
It was a segregated school. My aunts on my father's siblings went there, and they're older than my mom. And so that school was even built before then. So before my mom ever went, because they were born in like 1937 and 1936. And so, but it's just disturbing for me that we don't have it written down.
Yeah.
Or who was, and I went to O.C. Johnson. I subbed at O.C. Johnson, and I attended O.C. Johnson, 1st grade. And so I walk in their cafeteria, and then they have a picture of Miss Beecroft. She was my principal way back then. And then they have a picture of course, of O.C. Johnson himself. And then I subbed at McGraw School, and they had a picture of C.W. McGraw, a person. So at Carver School, the only thing I've seen was George Washington Carver. They don't have a picture of a principal. And so that's kind of...
Yeah. But can we do anything about it? We're getting a whole movement. You're getting people riled up right now, Beverly. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna find some
good trouble.
Yes. Yeah. Good trouble. That's what it is. Good trouble.
So what is the I guess the mission statement for the And you say NAA. Am I saying it wrong? NAACP?
Well, they changed it.
They changed it?
So
okay.
I have to get used to saying NAACP.
I'm not going to ever get used to
it. Yeah, because
some
everybody
people say
said it for so long.
NAACP.
Okay.
But our mission is to just, equality. Everybody, I mean, it's basic. It's so basic, Just treat everybody like you want to be treated. It's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just treat everybody like you want to be treated. Educate the kids the same way you'd want your kid to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
When I go into a classroom and I'm subbing, I want to teach those kids because if a teacher's in there, I want them to teach my kids. And I have grandkids and great-grandkids coming up. So you need to treat my kids the same way you treat your own kids.
Mm-hmm. So it's in part of the community making sure and looking out and making sure that happens.
Exactly. And so you keep eyes on them.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned you just had a fish fry recently. You had that. What other events do you have coming up or maybe something planned for the community or looking forward to?
For Black History Month is ending this Saturday, and we're doing a resilient rhythm. And so actually, I think AWC Choir is going to be there. We have the Cobra Tones. They're from Carver School. And just music and stuff, a tribute to, Black history music.
And how can people find out more about that, like the time, location?
Well, they can go onto our site, NAACP site.
Okay, so just Google that, and they should be able to find it.
You should be able to find it.
And I've obviously I found on Instagram you guys have been a little bit more active on social media, getting out
and we
there.
have more followers.
Yes.
And so we got to go live because we had enough followers to go live for our fish fry. And that was our first actually fundraiser since Juneteenth. But we have to have fundraisers so we can pay for these community events.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So any message you would like to leave us with before we wrap up? Either of you? It's all right.
Well, I would just say come support the NAACP, and it is for all people. It is not just Black people. We have all kinds of everybody, all kinds of walks of life. It's fun.
It's the oldest civil rights organization,
correct,
in the United States. So you have to know everybody's a part of that.
Exactly.
It's just not one person. It's everybody. So, yes, come out.
And we were talking here a little bit about my mentor, Russ Clark. And so he was a member of the NAACP. He was actually a member for a long, long time.
Cool.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate having you guys on. And Karen, we'll have to get you back on, talk about city stuff at one point.
All right.
But we'll do that at another time. We got Gene Dalbey waiting over here. I think he rode his bike over here. We're going to talk to him about the Tour de Fields after this quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, crafted in Welton, inspired by the desert, offering scratch-made food, handcrafted beers, live music, and experiences like farm tours and glamping. Location information, the schedule of events, and details on the range of options to be enjoyed are at hightanks.com.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Join me for Bonus Smiles, the show sharing the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Why? Because the rando cheering you on at a mile 77 aid station is the same kind of person who supports local public radio. Join us every Saturday at 5 a.m. on KOFA at 94.7 FM for stories that soothe and jams that power long runs.
For KAWC News, I'm Alexandra Rangel. The Mexican consulate in Yuma is hosting a free mobile immigration legal clinic in San Luis this Saturday. An immigration attorney will be available to answer questions and provide guidance on cases. Dulce Maria Valle Alvarez, the consul at the consulate, says the clinic is part of the consulate's monthly outreach efforts to support Mexican citizens with services related to immigration status and other legal paperwork. She also gave us an update on local immigration arrests. She says conditions in Yuma have remained relatively calm. However, she acknowledges many families are feeling stressed.
Hay gente que tiene miedo, hay gente que no sale, que no quiere salir.
Valle Alvarez says that if a community member is detained, the consulate has resources available to support families. You can find that information along with details about this week's mobile clinic on our website, kawc.org. Reporting in Yuma, I'm Alexandra Rangel.
Caballeros de Yuma presents Midnight at the Oasis, March 6th through the 8th at Desert Sun Stadium. Yuma's signature celebration of classic cars, the event features vintage and custom vehicles, live rock and roll concerts, food vendors, and family activities. Proceeds support local programs and scholarships. More at caballeros.org.
From KAWC, this is Siendo Primero. I'm Sajei Bárcenas.
And I'm Melanie Ruiz Lopez. In this new episode, we'll be talking about scholarships.
We want to know, how much passion do you have?
I felt relieved and made me very excited for the new chapter in my life.
That little change that we're able to bring that joy and that hope that they can finish school, that's very rewarding.
A new energy with the same mission.
To give students a voice.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what's being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate, like I've discovered I can do, and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by bicyclist, bike enthusiast, Gene Dalbey. Thank you for being with us today.
Bicycle advocate.
Advocate. There you go.
Yes,
okay.
Forever
there you go.
and ever.
Thank you for correcting me on my own show, Gene. That's the last time you're invited back. No, I'm just kidding. Me and Gene go back.
I don't mean to correct you. I'm only adding to it to make it that much better.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
all the
absolutely.
way around.
And so, yeah, I've known you for some time.
Yes.
We've been at K-Blue, did some stuff
Right.
over there. Well, okay, I want to say this. We're going to talk about the Tour de Field, something you have coming up, but we're going to do that a little bit later.
Okay.
But where are you from originally?
Born and raised in California.
California? Do you want to say what city or no?
Well,
You just
I don't
said
know.
California. That's pretty big.
I was that was in 1942. So I mean, it's a different city than it is today. So I can say, I was born in Oakland. I mean, the hospital's not even there anymore.
Northern California. I'm from Northern California as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good. Well, you know, the Bay Area was kind of where I grew up, and then moved to Gilroy, and it finished out being a youngster and a young adult all the way up to there, and then I went to college up in Seattle. But yeah, I'm an all-around guy. Then I went in the Army and traveled the world, and I know Yuma is the best place in the world to live.
So and you say that you're well-traveled to a degree. You said you've been all around. And so I want to go back to the young years. So were you always on a bike? Is that something that when you were young, you got your first bike and you just hit the ground running type of thing and you're going?
Well, you know, it's that moment of freedom. You know, your neighbor gets a bike and then you want a bike, and then the next thing you know, you got a whole herd of kids having bicycles. And it kind of, it was early. I think I was probably 8 or 10, something like that when I assisted on a paper route, you know, and things
really?
like that.
You were a paper boy on the bike.
Yeah.
That's so old school. And like, you know, seriously, like that's something like, I guess, I don't think it happens at all anymore. I don't see it, but I guess it's just like in movies now, but that's what you did. You had your bike route.
You know, I mean, it was a form of extra income. You know, I mean, you could buy a soda for a nickel and a hamburger for 20 cents and stuff like that. So $1 a day was a nice little piece of action, you know. So yeah, and I got my first job was very young. Also, was at the Firestone Tire Store, and that was also a place where they sold household appliances and bicycles. And so I kind of inherited the job of being able to put the new bikes together when they came in, open the box, you know, pull them all out, take all the material out of them, and they pack them the same way today as they used to then. So that was the part of it, and we were doing the old three-speed pulled chain rear axle stuff, you know. It was kind of still early on, and now they call them vintage bicycles, you know. So So yeah, that was my job, and of course sweeping the floors and cleaning the bathrooms and all that stuff too. And I found a real interest in bicycles. I just really liked bicycles. I liked the freedom that it gave me as a young person.
I love that you said that. I just want to pause right there a little bit because I remember that as well. And today I think it's a little bit different. But when I was young, at least, you would just get on your bike and you would just take off, and then you would come home back when it was dark, right?
Exactly.
You would just go. It's like, all right, we're gonna go on a bike, and it's like, all right, see you guys later. And then we would just travel. I'd go all around Yuma, just riding my bikes, doing stuff. Sometimes I would come back home scraped up, because I hit the brakes too quick on a dirt mound or something, But you mentioned that freedom, and that's really what it provides when you're a youngster.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the other major benefit, riding bikes to school is a real plus, because you get the kids' activity moving, you get their brains functioning, you get all the other aspects of the physical being moving.
The blood's
forward.
flowing,
So when they get to school, they're kind of ready to go to work, Unfortunately, going to school in a car and working your cell phone or whatever doesn't really stimulate the brain very much, and so schooling is a little different. But riding a bicycle to school is a good deal. I know busing is a big issue. We always used in the old days didn't have busing. We just kind of got to school as whatever way we could get there. Mom or rode our bikes or walked or whatever. And there's a big deal about safe routes to school too. The government's tried to make a lot of efforts in making it safe in all different kinds of ways. They'd have bicycle trains where you could get several people together, and a parent would guide the kids from their neighborhood into the school. And so, it's I think bicycling, the part I like about bicycling is that it's an all-around kind of an activity where it not only teaches you or offers you the opportunity of the freedom, but you also get into the mechanics of bicycling. You get into the health benefits of bicycling, you get into the environmental benefits of bicycling, and the mathematics of bicycling, the geometry of the frame and the gearing system, and you learn about tools and you learn about safety. I think that's one of the first introductions of safety in a kid's life. Is working with something that exposes him to some element of risk.
Yeah, there's, like you said, the element of risk, and that's why I came home sometime bruised and banged up and stuff like that, and I had to learn about physics and my front brake versus my back brake and stuff, which one to use, right? You're getting that, you're learning those skills.
Well, you also learn the benefit of medicine. You probably had a Band-Aid or something on board or something.
Yeah, absolutely, and medicine and the hydrogen peroxide poured on it, and it's stinging, and
no kidding. So I just think that bicycling touches a person's life in so many different ways. We have this thing about 60 benefits or advantages of bicycling, and it comes from the International Bicycling Fund. And there's some on here that are kind of, I don't know about that. But, there's a great multitude of them that really make sense. That depending on where the person is, so randomly picking a number, 12, let's see what number 12 looks like. Reduce stress by bicycling.
I could use that.
Yes.
I could use that. I think you picked that one for me. I think that was God.
That one's for Johnny.
That was God. That time, get on a bike, dude, and then maybe you can go to bed at night and not have night terrors.
Because less screen time. You're just you and the bike and nature, and you're just using that to sort of get along.
Go ahead.
There's one on here that says that your ride home is better than in the car. It's better on the bicycle. You kind of exercise, you get all that frustration kind of exercise that outside, and you get home, you're rested, you've been diverted from the problems of the day and what have you, and it's an all-around good thing. The other piece of the puzzle, of course, is keeping your bike maintained. Like keep out of the thorns. No punctures on your tires and your tubes and stuff. We don't want that stuff. But there it is. It happens around Yuma quite a bit.
It does, and that's where I get frustrated. Is that part, right? It's like I do good. I get excited. I'm gonna get a bike. I get the tubes. I go out there, and then sure enough, seems like almost every time I get a flat, and I get mad, and then I leave the bike in the back, and it rusts, and then it's done. And now it's stolen. I had somebody. I went on vacation a couple months ago, and all my bikes were gone when I came back. Unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah, living in Okietown, that's what you put up with sometimes. But so I'm like, I want to get a bike back now, but that's what I always get frustrated with is that I get how do I fix that problem, Gene?
Well, there's a couple of ways of doing it. The hardest way, but the most underscored is a solid rubber tire.
Solid rubber tire.
You know, like what they put on the old bikes, the old Penny Farley. You know, that was a solid rubber tire, and that would eliminate all problems as far as the rust. The problem is getting it on the rim is very difficult, and having the right tools and all the other pieces of the puzzle. But that would solve the problem. But it's no fun. It makes the ride very much harder. You feel every bump that you go across, every little indentation in the roadway or whatever, you feel it. So that's not a good idea. So the air pressure tires are really a better deal all the way around. But they have tubes that are thicker. You know, you can buy the heavy-duty tubes that are thorn resistant.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to do it. The other thing is putting a liner. There are liners available that you can put inside your tire, between your tire and your tube. And they're relatively simple to put in, and they do protect the tire from the puncture, from the straight road part.
Yeah.
They don't. If somebody sticks it with a knife or something, well, that's going to go anyway. So, but they have those liners that are really pretty effective. And you know, the other part is just being sensitive to what you're riding in. If you're riding across an open field, you're going to get thorns. You know, there's no way about it. And if you ride on the streets, the sidewalks, and you know, the bike paths and what have you, you're generally in pretty good shape. And if we find an area, a bicycle will say, we got a bunch of area, like over there in the park by Gateway Park, you know, that road that exists going east on Gateway Park over towards Pacific Avenue and the athletic complex. There can be a lot of bushes in there that put a lot of thorns on the road. Well, if we find that they're on there and somebody calls us, we'll call Public Works.
Oh,
and
very cool.
Or the Parks Department, they'll go over and they'll fix it up, get it out of the way. And the public, I mean, the city and the county, they need to know if there's a problem. Call us, tell us, you know, or call them, you know, and my number is 928-920-8482.
That's cool. So, you know, I was just thinking where I go. I go for walks. I do that for stress. But there's thorns everywhere where I go for a walk. And when I get back into my car, they're literally, my shoes are filled with them. And this is at right next to McGraw School in Kennedy. Like I just walk right there and it's nothing but thorns. So I'm going to get a hold of the city. And if they're listening, get over to Kennedy over there, that whole area right there next to McGraw and Gila Vista, and get that cleaned up. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back on the other side of the break, talk about what it's like to be an advocate for these things. And I think you help to get some stuff done with the city, and you petition with them. And then we're going to talk about the Tour Day Fields after this quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. Next time on Latino USA, we bring you our own State of the Union, what President Trump has achieved and dismantled during his second term in office. And we also look at what's at stake for the next 3 years and the future of our country. That's next time on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
It's been said that community radio is a rare medium that's well done. It's a cute play on words, but it's also quite true. Community radio is unique, both for our programming and for our source of funding. We are funded by you, those who listen faithfully. So please give now at borderradioaz.org. And thanks.
It's a warm day in Flagstaff with an afternoon high expected of 65 degrees. Winds out of the west at 6 to 13 miles per hour could gust up to 20. Clear skies tonight with a low around 38. In Prescott, also sunny and breezy with a high of 72 degrees. Winds could gust up to 21 miles per hour out of the west. Clear tonight with a low of 46. Kingman is sunny with a high of 75 degrees. Clear skies tonight with a low of 51. In Yuma County, we expect a 92-degree high and a 54-degree low.
For over 55 years, Border Radio KOFA has been a voice for music and culture in the region. We play indie, soul, funk, world beats, and more, plus local stories and live sessions. Tune in live at 94.7 FM, on demand at borderradioaz.org, or on the KOFA app and discover your next favorite song.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here with Gene Dalbey, bicyclist, bike enthusiast and bike advocate. We're talking everything bicycles here, right now. And we're definitely going to get to this event here in a little bit. But I left off, I want to, like, as an advocate, what are some of the things that you do? Because I think I don't know if you had a role in the bike lanes being developed here in Yuma, or like maybe input on it or suggestions or stuff. Like, tell me what an advocate does.
Well, an advocate obviously is going to be somebody that's very much for the particular subject area, and that means whatever it is that's needed in that particular area, that's going to be what they're going to emphasize. And my thing is really, it's bicycling, but it's from a safety perspective.
Safety, yeah.
You know, what happened was that the Crossroads Missions got a grant from United Way for a bike shop. It happened at just a time when we were transferring from one thrift store to another. So now we're over there at 8th Street and 5th Avenue, and we got the little bike shop in the back. And I began to work on the bikes there, and I see all these bikes are going out. You know, we're kind of giving them away or selling them at a very reasonable price and what have you. And next thing I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute now, you know, all these bikes are going out, but Yuma is not really very safe. You know, and there's been some YouTube videos that have just really beat Yuma badly about safety on bicycles, and a lot of it's not true, but the person just had a particular opinion about it and wanted to develop it, and it was unfortunate. But bike safety is a big deal, and the biggest key, I think, is training. You know, if we could get the kids in the 4th and 5th grade to be able to learn about bicycles in school, oh, what a blessing that would be, because that would create so many opportunities for them to learn about common sense in so many ways, and then also the ability to be able to be safe on the road and consider safety not just in the bicycle area, but handling tools of any kind, you know, that you're always going to be. So my advocacy, I'm just promoting bicycling everywhere I can, you know, that it's a health benefit, immense health benefit. I'm 83 years old. It didn't happen by chance. I think it's because I did my exercise on bicycle. I did I did 111 miles. It took me 8 hours to do it, but I did the Tour de Tucson, you know, and I did it, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, but that's a great exercise, you know. The longer, and it's more, it's the consistency of it, you know, that really is a huge health benefit, you know, doing it so much a day, every day, or so much a week, or whatever the case may be. But in the advocacy program, you have to get to know people. You have to get to know who the decision makers are. And I can't make them make a decision, and it's very difficult for me to do it with one person addressing the city council, for example. If I had 50 people behind me that were nodding their head in a positive way as I was speaking to the city council, we'd get so much more benefit about bicycling. Now, you watch the ball teams, the softball clubs or whatever they are, and the soccer teams, you know, and the other programs that the kids are excited about. You know, you get them going, and then you get a herd of people, all the parents and everything behind them.
It just happened with the swim teams here recently at one of the city council meetings because of Kennedy Pool. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of people there. But you're saying in the bike community, sometimes it's just you up there. You're doing. So what are some of the things that you do or go before city council and kind of mention or say? Or
Well, most anything. You know, I kind of stick close to the city engineer and the county engineer to be able to see what's on the horizon. You know, any areas that, for right now, we're working on trying to extend the bike path from 40th Street to County 14. That's the one on the East Main Canal. Well, you know, a grant is important, you know, so we have to make sure we get the right platform for the grant to go out and get a request for that, you know. And then the city council or the county board of supervisors making a decision. We had one issue back several years ago that they were going to start to put rumble strips on Old Highway 80. That was pretty tough because the rumble strips are about a foot wide, and you start occupying that road space on that small road, and you wind up no road space for bicycles, except the lane of traffic. Well, that's sometimes a little bit tough, traffic speed and all the rest of that stuff. So we really kind of pitched a fit, you might say.
Yeah.
That we didn't want those rumble strips. So we won.
You won. Oh, good. Congratulations.
You know, if it hadn't been for one of the county supervisors calling me and telling me it was going to be on the agenda, I might not have ever caught it.
Wow.
But it's that's the problem with one guy, me, trying to do all this multitude of stuff with planning and zoning and with the design and all the other issues that go with a project. It's tough.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well,
I have about 17 different meetings every month, that I can go to stay abreast of all this stuff. But and I can continue on down this road if you'd like to go for.
Well, no. So yeah, it's definitely important. So every time I leave here and take off over here, and I don't know what street this is out here, but I always see Paul Mondragon. I don't know if you know Paul Mondragon from the Rock Church. He's a pastor over there. He rides his bike all the time, always, all around here. And every time I get close to, I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, I got to be safe. I want to be safe. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he literally does it every day. Wow. It's something I've talked to him about it before. But yeah, his safety is important to me. So absolutely. But yeah, we don't have a whole bunch of time. But do you have a question, Victor?
Yeah, I just want to ask real quickly about, there is a cycling community. There's groups like Gorditas BMX and, all ages and different, groups. Right. Maybe there's groups for seniors. But talk about real briefly about why it's important to have this community of cycling here in Yuma County.
When you look at Yuma is an absolutely beautiful place. I've told people look at a map of Yuma and they see the canals everywhere, and they look at it from a map perspective and they say, oh, what a place to ride bicycles. You can go everywhere on a bicycle and be able to get there on the canal. Well, then they get here and they find out not so much. We got some really nice canal bypass on the East Main Canal, and the one that's up on more by First Street that's by the West Wetlands and the East Wetlands and that's all that stuff. But it's important, I think, for the groups to work together.
Yeah.
And it's better if the groups come together. At least, that was what we try to do with the Yuma Region Bicycle Coalition, is get a representative from every of the agencies. And if you're not part of it now, please, call us 928-920-8482 and help us keeping these organizations working together.
And I just want to say before we move on to this event you got coming up, it is important and it does help people. I got to give a shout out to Jesse Carrillo. He's been a lot of trouble in and out, finally got out of prison and he found the bike community and it's been keeping him. He told me, he's like, Johnny, this is keeping me on my toes. It's keeping me safe. I'm doing it. I found it. I finally found it. And this was back, I talked to him when the Kennedy opened up and they're all riding their bikes over there. So yes, it is huge. It's a good for their community and it's done a lot of good for him. He even got his sister Jennifer in it and she's riding the bikes with them. They always go by my street all the time, bumping their music with that whole bike group.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love to see it. But yes, we are running out of time. So we have this event coming up. It's a 2-day event, the Tour de Fields, but you got a bike bash that you're going to be starting it off with, sponsored by our sponsor, High Tanks Brewing Company. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll go to the bike thing. And we got about a minute and a half.
Well, the event it's a new approach to things. I believe Welton is our home for this bike ride. I don't think we'll be moving anywhere else. But they got great roads, great routes, great opportunities, and they embraced us.
I'm gonna put this up.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And,
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of things that's really going to be. I would hope one day, maybe this is a very ambitious hope, that we can be up there with the Midnight at the Oasis and some of the other activities that are really major events in Yuma. So I think that Friday night's going to be a big gathering, and the real objective is to get everybody registered and everybody settled down. There will be some camping spaces, there will be some RV spaces, and there'll be some food trucks there. There'll be some music. We're going to have a movie later on in the evening. We'll have a nighttime bike ride. And all those kind of things that really make it a lot of fun.
And this is March 20th at the Welton Community Center. Yes. Yeah, lots to do.
March 20th is the pre-registration and bike bash, and then the event is on March 21st, the bicycle ride.
That's right. That's right. We have a variety of different ranges of rides, from a small family ride, 3 miles, up to 100 miles.
Yeah, so it says 3, 30, and 60, and then it doesn't even give it says long.
Long ride.
Long ride.
From 60 to long ride.
Any one of those you could do twice if you want to. Of course, the 100 miles is kind of an out and back kind of a thing, but it's a great ride because it's such a nice area. And the message is showcase the products in the field. I mean, Yuma is agriculture. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, the fields, there you go.
And we're going to try to make sure we got signs on all the fields and said, this is the broccoli, and this is the lettuce, and this is the this, and so on.
That's great.
Very, very cool. For more information, what do people do? They call you? Is that the best way to do it? Give out your phone number one more time.
The QR code on the flyers. Or tourthefields.org.
Oh, okay. There's a website on there. All right.
The website. It's not on there, but the QR code is on there. And tourthefields.org. we'll get you all the information that you need to know about the bike ride.
All right. Thank you so much, Gene, for being with us and everything that you do for the bike community here and keeping everybody safe. I appreciate you.
Thank
and
you.
with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornales, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
And you can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music.
And tomorrow, there's no show. We're going to be at Yuma's Best. Maybe we won, maybe we didn't. We're going to have to find out tomorrow.
And you can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
Yeah, so we're going to be over there tomorrow at Yuma's Best. So probably do a replay of one of the shows, and then we'll be back on Friday. And I got something really cool. The people from the paranormal event that's coming into town. If you see that over on 4E, they're setting up. I saw the light. And I'm going to have some winners on some tickets that we're giving away. We're going to announce that on Friday. All right, you guys have a great day, and we'll be back.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
Broadcasting from Yuma campus of Arizona Western College for more than 55 years, this is Border Radio, 94.7 FM, KOFA Yuma. We also broadcast at 1320 AM in Yuma, at kawc.org, and on the KOFA app.
The KAWC Student Newsroom is funded by the Local News Initiative at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, the Scripps Howard Fund, and by generous local support. Thank you for supporting the next generation of public media. Learn more about the project and hear stories from emerging journalists at kawc.org/student newsroom.
I'm Debbie Russ with the BBC News. The British government has insisted it is not